Hey guys, welcome to this video, and in this one I am doing a tutorial of this beautiful hooded scarf. It is super easy, very beginner friendly. This is a 1-row repeat, so if you're new to crocheting, it should not be difficult at all. I love how it came out. This was a gift that I crocheted for my mother for Christmas. And yeah, I am starting with a different yarn, but stay tuned and I'm going to walk you through the process.
You are beautifully and wonderfully made. Yes, you are beautifully, you're wonderfully made.
Okay guys, so I did 2 hooded scarves, and this is the first one that I did. So I'm starting with a separate type of yarn. You're going to see at the end it's going to be a different yarn, but that's neither here or there. This is the scarf that I started and crocheted for myself. It's in taupe splash, and it is from Walmart nonetheless. I searched high and low for something that I wanted, and this has like little metallic pieces in it, so I'm super excited about how it's coming out. So you're going to need scissors, tapestry needle, and of course a hook. I am using the 5.5 millimeter hook for this project. Everything is the same as far as the hooks. When you see me switch over to the other colors, but we're starting with a slip knot. However you come to make a slip knot, that's what you're going to do. Very simple. And we're going to chain. Okay. So for this project, you want to make sure that you have ample space because you're sewing or you are attaching a hood to a scarf. So the hood's going to take up a good amount of space. So we're going to chain 200. Okay. And to chain, you're just yarning over and pulling through. Yarning over and pulling through. I'm going to try not to make this like repetitive or too long of a video. You just have to know the basics of crocheting, which chain, if you know how to chain and you know how to do a half double crochet, then you're in business, honey. Okay. So we're going to chain 200. All right, guys. So I have completed my 200 chains, and I'm going to get ready to start to crochet round 1 or row 1. So you want to make sure that your chain is straight. We are going to go into the second chain from the hook. So we're yarning over, and then we're going to go into that second chain from the hook. So yarn over, go into the second. You're going to have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 1. You still have 3. Now you're going to yarn over and pull through all 3. And that is it. Yarn over, go into the next. 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 1. Yarn over, pull through 3. That is a half double crochet. Yarn over, go through the next. Yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, pull through 3. And it's just repeating all the way down. Yarn over, go into the next chain. Yarn over, pull through 1. Yarn over, pull through 3. Yarn over, go into the next chain. Yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 3. And guys, that is literally all you're going to do until you get to the end. You do want to make sure that your tension is correct, that everything's looking good. And I'm going to meet you at the end. Okay, guys, so I'm pretty much at the end. I am going into the last chain and completing my final half double crochet. This is what my project is looking like so far. And to go to the next row, we're going to chain 1, and then you're going to turn your work. Okay, so for this one, there's multiple ways that you can go to the second row, but the way that I did it, or the way that I crocheted moving forward, is I'm using back loops only. And that is where you're going to crochet only into the back loop. So if you look at the top of your prior row, you're going to see like a V stitch. Instead of going underneath the entire V stitch, you're going to go just in the back, just in that back loop. And going in that back loop is going to have a different effect as opposed to you going underneath. So the back loop is going to create like ridges for you. So we're going to go in doing the same thing, yarning over, pulling through, and then pulling through all 3 loops. So we're repeating the same thing, which is why I said this is pretty much a 1-row repeat. Moving forward, all of your rows are going to be worked like this. So again, half double crochet all the way to the end. When you get to that very last stitch, I do advise going underneath the V as opposed to the back loop. That is just a way to keep your edges straight, okay? So again, you're going to do back loops only until you get to the final chain or the final stitch from the previous row, and then you're going to crochet under that V. Okay guys, so this is the finished part of my scarf, and this is where I mentioned that I forgot to finish crocheting the tan one or the taupe one on camera. This is the one that I did for my mom. So same way, started the same 200 chains, and this is 22 rows of that scarf, 22 rows of 200. And I've already stitch marked where I want my hood to be. So just so you guys know, this is a combination of 4 different yarns, okay? Okay, there is this gold yarn. I think this is Big Twist. I'm going to have everything linked below. This is a combination of the gold. There is a cream, which is this one also, Big Twist yarn. They're all 4 worsted weighted yarns. And this is Cinnamon by Big Twist. And then there's a multi colored yarn, and this is from Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn. I can't think of the name, but again, everything's going to be below. And I couldn't find exactly what I wanted, and I wanted to add pops of color to that mixture, that mixed yarn. So that's why I added the cream, the gold, and the cinnamon. So to determine the size of your hood, you're going to measure from your lobe to the back of your head. You want to also make sure though that the sides are even. So you want to have the same amount of stitches from one side of the hood to the other side. So that way your scarf isn't lopsided. Okay. So we're going to attach our yarn from our first stitch marker. Again, I'm going to have everything written on the screen or below. So we're going to start with a slip stitch. Very simple. We're going to go right where our first marker is, and we're just going to pull that through. And I just want to make sure that I just use the working yarn. So I'm going to pull that through, and with the working yarn, I'm going to yarn over and attach it. Just make sure that it's secure. And then I'm just going to go ahead right into that very same stitch, and I'm going to do a half double crochet. And for this very first row, guys, I am going under the V. I just want to make sure I want it to be as secure as possible. So this is the only row when I attach the hood that I am going to do the complete row, or should I say the entire row, under the V. So we're going to go in and do those half double crochets all the way until we get to the other stitch marker. Okay, and we're just going to continue to go all the way to the end, and then I'll meet you guys back there. Okay guys, so I'm pretty much at the end where my stitch marker is, and I'm just finishing up a few half double crochets, and I'm just going to show you how to go to the very next row. So I'm now at the stitch where the stitch marker is, completed my half double crochet. I'm going to remove the stitch marker, and then I'm just going to do I'm chaining 1, and then I'm going to turn my work. Okay, but this is what it's looking like so far. So, and you can always measure across the back of your head if you want to, the nape of your neck, just to see if it's wide enough. If not, you can pull it out and start over. I suggest doing that before you continue to go on to the next rows. Okay, but I chain 1, and I'm turning my work. And from this point, we're repeating what we did previously. We're going to go right into the back loops, the very first prior stitch, and we are doing those half double crochets. Now, one thing that I do want to show you guys with this one, again, it's multiple colors that are weaved in here or that are joined together, and I'm going to show you guys how I join them. I do have a separate video that I'm putting out, just a little short, to show you guys how to do the magic knot, something that I learned which saved me so much time and stress. So I am making sure that when I change colors, just because even with the magic knot, you'll get like a small little knot that I don't prefer to be on the ends of my rows. So I'm changing, you know, in between. And I want to add a pop of gold to this now. Okay, so with the pop of gold or whatever color you're changing out, I am again doing the magic knot to ensure that it does not pull apart. If you do this magic knot correctly, your project will stay intact forever, okay? So if you guys can kind of just see what I'm doing, again, I do have an in-depth little tutorial or a short that I'm going to have linked below as well to kind of go into depth and show you. But you're essentially just tying 2 knots onto the yarn, and you are pulling those 2 knots together, making sure that it's secure, and then you're going to tie off the excess yarn. So it's pretty simple once you get the hang of it. But again, click on the link below or on the screen to see the tutorial of the magic knot. But again, it's a perfect way to change colors, especially if you're working on a project like this where you want to change it often. This is how I suggest you do it. It's not going to move. It's stuck, baby. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to continue to crochet my rows to the desired height. Again, it's going to be on the screen how many rows I did crochet, and it's an average size. Okay. Again, if your head's a little smaller, if you're doing it for a child, it can easily be customized to fit any person, any size. So now that we're at the end of our row, again, we're going to go underneath both, and we're going to finish that row off with a half double crochet under the V, chain 1, turn our work, and we're going to complete it. Okay. I will return when all my rows are completed to show you how we're going to close this off. All right, guys, so I have completed all of my rows. I'm super excited. I am now just trying to determine what I want to be the inside of the scarf and what I want the outside to be. So, which is important. So you want to decide first. So this is going to be the inside of my scarf / hooded scarf. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and join the hood together, or create the hood. Okay, so basically all you're going to do is take both ends and put them together, and then we are going to slip stitch them all the way across. You want to make sure that it is even. And once we have it even, we're just going to place our hook under the V of the first side, and then connect the other side by placing the hook under that V. And we're going to yarn over, again, just making sure everything's straight as possible. We're going to yarn over, and then we're going to pull through. So this is going to be our slip stitch. Yarn over, pull through both sides. And then we're going to go through each stitch all the way across, doing the same thing. So we're going to go all the way across, insert the hook through both sides, yarn over, and pull through both. And that's your slip stitch. So we're going to go all the way to the end. And then I'm just going to show you a little trick that I do, because I don't like the hooded scarves that have like that whole little elf point or gnome point on it. I want it to be a little bit more rounded. So I'll show you guys how I did that. There's really no form or fashion. I just kind of messed around with it and tweaked it until I got it to my liking. But yeah, I'll show you that once I get to the end. Okay, y'all, so now I'm at the end, and you see it's literally like a square. I wanted to go ahead and just kind of condense that little point. So I'm just pushing the hook through the top and just trying to round out that point. Again, I don't have it, there's no form or fashion, I'm just rounding out the point or trying to tuck it in. So that's what I'm doing here. You can literally leave it the way that it was if you don't mind the point. There's no judgment here. I just don't like it for myself. So however you want to proceed, but even with that little bit, you can tell that it's rounded a little rounded. I'm going to flip it inside out, so it's going to be the right side out, and I'm just checking the hood. Again, I still don't like it, so I'm going to do a little bit more of adjustment. I'm going to use the yarn that's still attached and kind of squeeze that to make it work, or finagle it to make it work. And this is how it turned out, like as you guys saw in the beginning. It's not so pointy in the back, so it worked out well. It didn't really disturb the pattern, and I am obsessed with it. I hope that you guys enjoy crocheting this. You don't have to do the multiple colors. Just go with whatever your gut tells you, and I just hope that you have fun. It is definitely a hobby that is so satisfying and soothing for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe, thumbs up the video, and stay tuned for more crochet tutorials.
You are beautiful.